Good morning. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond The Courtroom. So on the board with me today is a little changing it up a little bit. Peter is on the board. Peter, how are you today?
Good morning.
Peter, it's been months and months and months since I've seen you. Has anything changed in your life, or is everything just going sailingly smooth?
I don't know, my hair's longer.
All right, it is longer, actually. That's good. It makes me jealous. I don't have a strong head of hair like you. But good. Well, good to have you back on the board. Thanks for helping out today. Mike is traveling to parts unknown on a cruise ship of some sort, trying to, not have too much at the buffet and drink too much. I think that's the plan.
I'm just going to assume parts unknown means Antarctica.
Yeah, that's always a good assumption, I think, in that scenario, yes. So today we're going to talk about Black Friday. Do you know what that is?
I do. I haven't been able to enjoy it every Black Friday, but I could prepare a lot better. I should just save up every year in the meantime for Black Friday. But Black Friday is convenient.
Yeah, well, I actually have the opposite view of Black Friday. Black Friday terrifies me. So I have
Why?
I just don't like crowds and people jostling and all of that. So
You don't like to be there getting those baby patch kids' toys and trampling over. You've seen that footage?
I have actually. So we're going to talk a little bit about sort of the legal implications of Black Friday. So did you know that, how many people do you think shop during the Thanksgiving weekend?
Are you including online shopping?
No,
I'm just
saying
the physical brick and mortar
retail brick and mortar stores.
It's got to be the high thousands, right?
Well, there's 300 million people in the United States.
That's it?
Well, there's 300 million people, yeah, in total, but 136 million people shop during Thanksgiving weekend. So it's a little higher than the high thousands.
I guess that's the low high thousands.
I'm going to assume that you meant just right here on our street next door to this bakery. So, but yeah, no. So it's 136 million people shop during Thanksgiving weekend, and actually, it is the most profitable day of shopping day of the year for retailers is Black Friday itself.
That makes sense.
So, so basically, if you've never been to America and you're just visiting but speak English, Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving where all the stores try to do like one or two really screaming deals to get people to come to their stores, and then they trick you by only having 4 of those available, and then there's the rest of the store is marginally the same price as it normally is, and that's why it's the most profitable day of the year for retailers. So, and actually, there's been this whole Christmas creep thing where everything's starting to go a little earlier. There are some stores. There's a mall that's in Michigan that is planning to be open on Thanksgiving, and they're calling it Black Thursday. So pretty soon we're going to start shopping, and it's going to be like Black January 4th, and then it will just run the whole year.
There's a black thing for everything.
Right.
Exactly. Funny. But there's an electronic one. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
I don't know what the day is, though.
Yeah, well,
I just heard it for the first time not that long ago. Or maybe I hadn't, and because I remembered hearing about it before. What do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no. Well, there's one that's in China that's basically it's Alibaba does it, and it's called, like, I don't know if it's President's Day or Presenting Day or whatever it is, and I think on that day they do billions of dollars of online sales, like a ridiculous amount of online sales. But Black Friday actually counts online as well. And it's actually on Black Friday. I know Amazon does a lot of stuff with regards to that. So Black Friday obviously is a big deal for a lot of people, but there are actually some legal implications. So did you know that Black Friday is illegal in 3 states?
Which states?
Well, the states are, if you are in Rhode Island, Maine, or Massachusetts, you can't have your store open on Thanksgiving.
That seems very... You can't have your store open on Thanksgiving.
Cannot have your store open on Thanksgiving.
Is that like a what's it called when you can't buy alcohol on Sundays, but the capitalist version
that's
of
right.
that?
That's right. I didn't even prep you for what was happening today. So yeah, you just came in, you just check out the big brain on Peter, man.
I do have a large noggin.
It's called blue laws, okay?
Blue laws.
And so blue laws are remnants of sort of like the colonial days back in the day where you actually, you couldn't drink on Sunday, but it actually prohibited shopping on Sunday. So it was technically it was a strict religious law that particularly prevented someone from doing entertainment or leisure activities on Sunday. So basically, in old colonial times, your whole job was to sit in. Did you have huts? I guess, or they would have houses, right? Back then.
They had houses. They were very anti-hut, I imagine.
That's true. I would be, yes. But the houses were just like the step above a hut,
yes.
Right? And so, but anyway, so I guess you were just supposed to sit in your home and not do anything.
I feel... I don't want to say I'm the best person for you to have had that conversation with, but I'm glad that I had the relevant information in my mind.
So actually, yeah. So it's interesting because there's one camp that says, hey, people should be able to stay home during the holidays because obviously people have to man the stores, right? So you don't want to have those poor people have to go to the stores. But then 47 of the rest of the states are like, no, we want to be able to shop on Black Friday. So so it's a very interesting scenario with it's called these blue laws, and there's this movement to try to allow them to not be open. Thanksgiving and Christmas are the main holidays in those three states, but actually, Massachusetts does not let you be open on Columbus Day or Veterans Day without state permission. And sometimes
That's
Easter and New Year's Day are sometimes included. I just want to know whose guy is the job to be the state permission blue law guy day that I have to call up and be like, hey, I would like to open my store on Columbus Day.
The blue law enforcer.
Yes, exactly. So, because really, if you think about it, that guy only has to worry about 4 days a year, right? That's his actual job, or her.
That'd be a nice yearly work week.
Right, exactly.
Schedule.
Like the person takes like 6 months off, and they probably make more money than I do, right? With a pension where they're going to be able to retire for when they're 50. So
that sounds nice.
Yeah, that does sound nice. I'm just jealous. I don't have that job. That's why I
gotta start somewhere.
That's right. That's right. So, so it's fascinating actually. So also too is that now Maine though has an exemption where you can allow sporting goods stores to be open. Right? So that's why LL Bean can be open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Wow.
I know, that's amazing, right?
I think fortunately they have the internet, because now I'm sure if they're closed, if the brick and mortar's closed, they can still have those online Black Friday sales, right? But actually, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't be allowed to do that too. I don't know. It's foreign to me, I guess. And as a Southern Californian, I've always been I've never heard of stores not being open because of things like blue laws. That's a new one.
We can do whatever we want in California. But when we come back from the break, we're actually going to talk about some more of the legal ramifications of Black Friday. You've been listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom. Welcome back. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom. So we're joking around here a little bit about how that in Massachusetts, of all places, you have to actually get permission to open your store on Columbus Day. But actually, and I find that absurd, but whatever. But it's a remnant of an old law that they have out there, is these colonial blue laws. Now, the other side of the coin, though, is that you do actually have to need some protections for people on Black Friday, because did you know, Peter, that Black Friday can actually be kind of dangerous?
Anything's possible.
Well, it's not only possible, it has happened. And the reason is because
I'm curious how.
Yes, well, in 2008, a 38-year-old, so it's not a little kid, but a 38-year-old Walmart employee was trampled to death after a stampede of Black Friday shoppers rushed into the store.
What year was that? I'm sorry, you said that right in my face.
2008.
2008.
So
that's scary.
It's not like it was the 1950s where people were much less well-behaved than they are now, and much less civil than they are now. It is the modern times of 2008, just a little bit a while ago. Now, I want you to think about this. How many people saw that guy or gal like fall over, because when you get trampled, you're on the ground, and then just looked at them and just ran by and said, you know what, that HDTV I'm going to get, I really want that really bad. This person will just have to fend for themselves. And they had like their little Walmart, protecting vest on that,
protecting?
Not too much, because the person got trampled to death.
I feel such an odd mix. I can't say that's such a terrible story.
It's an awful story, and the thing is that.
And I'm terrible for having my initial smile. I shouldn't say that I'm smiling.
Well, you're not smiling.
The context.
You actually look horrified by it, so that's good. Yes,
you are amazing at your profession.
That's right.
You are really good.
It's radio gold, and so let's start talking about the Christmas tree in our studio. That's new. Anyway, so no, but my point is this: is first of all, one is that it annoys me that this would happen, because it's just a comment on the sort of look, I'm a business owner, I'm a capitalist at heart, but at some point people come on, let's take 2 seconds and the TV will still be there. Let's help this poor person that got trampled to death.
It is really scary to even think that it's in my own lifetime that people are getting trampled for sales.
Right.
I've seen videos and things, and I don't ever think, someone may have actually died in these viral videos of Walmart doors opening at 4 a.m. For Black Friday. So to think that could actually happen is kind of
well. And
scary.
I always see videos of those people, and they have their kids with them, and I'm like, why would you take your kids into that scenario?
Yeah.
And it's I guess because if they're you send little Johnny or little Jackie running, so
you know what it is, they're smaller,
and they can get through all the legs.
Yeah,
they got a plan. You're like, okay, kids, here's our Black Friday plans, because we went. My cousin of all people, she gets up at some ungodly early hour in the morning, and she because we had at Thanksgiving dinner, it's the running joke is my cousin going to leave now for Black Friday. So anyway, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the actual laws in place to protect us from the trampling, stampeding Black Friday shoppers. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and this is Wade Beyond the Courtroom. Welcome back. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and you're experiencing Wade Beyond the Courtroom, where law and culture meet. I'm getting some culture here. We're going to get some law in here in a second, too. What do you think about that, Peter?
I'm down.
All right, cool. So anytime that you go onto a store, and this is, if you've stayed with us this far, the hilarity that has ensued so far has prepared you for the exciting law talk we're about to have. And anytime that you go to a store, there's something that's called premises liability or premise liability, right? I don't do tort law, so if I mispronounce it, or if I say, I think it's premises, but whatever. Premises liability, right?
Take your word.
Yeah, take my word for it. I do have a law degree, Peter, so yes, I will tell you that's how I read it off the sheet of paper. It seems appropriate. So, no, but store owners actually have a responsibility to keep shoppers safe from knowable hazards, okay? So if a meteorite strikes your store, you probably don't have to worry about it.
Does a human stampede now fit in the applicable category of knowable hazard?
Well, yeah, I would think so. Well, yes, the nature of man being so dark and what it is, we would have to assume that if you get a bunch of people together and you place an almost free TV away from them, they, like lab rats, will stampede towards it for a hit of nicotine or something, right?
Wow.
So yes, I would say that is foreseeable as well, and more foreseeable in certain places other than others. So like California, for instance, I would say is pretty foreseeable, but everyone's very polite in, let's say, Canada.
I'm going to take your word on it again.
Yeah, well, have you ever been to Canada?
I have, and is Nova Scotia in Canada?
You actually could be, yes, Nova Scotia is in Canada. You could actually be Canadian. You're very polite.
I am very polite.
Yes, and I would say, you are not reserved or subdued as much as I would say that you're reflective.
I don't know what that means, actually.
It just means that you're calm and you take time before you were going to give a comment. That's why your horrified look actually looks like a smile.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding. So, all right. So, premise liability, basically. So, if the argument basically is this: is that if your store has poor planning and inadequate security, right, and someone is trampled to death or hurt or falls down or whatever, then your store should be liable.
So that's why
sued.
That's how you have grounds to sue.
Exactly, because you do have a responsibility to keep people safe that come to your place of business. So if you have a a structural defect where you're like, a light falls on somebody, that's pretty much your fault. You have to, I have an expectation of safety when I go into a store. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the issue with the poor planning and inadequate security, this stuff can actually get out of control because I think they have like off-duty police at some of these events now, and
Oh, I'm sure, and especially post 9/11, I'm sure you have a lot of security and a lot of different kinds of things like that, more than in the past.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff is more of the security concerns of terrorists, but I think you're more likely, you may be more likely on Black Friday to get trampled by your fellow American than by getting shot, just because of the sheer number of people shopping over the weekend. I'm not saying that it's obviously it's a very serious topic, but the United States is a big place. There's 300 million people here, and 146 million of them are going to be shopping, or whatever it is, or 136, I think. So a third of the country is going to be shopping. Over a third of the country is going to be shopping this weekend.
Wow. Is there any way that you could also have another? Could we have another reason for Black Friday? Could we have more than one? Is it really only going to be one forever? Is that going to be the tradition?
Well, I think the reason that Black Friday is the day that it is because everybody has the day off. Although, you know what? I have worked at a place where they were not going to give me the day off after Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yes.
Man, that's crazy.
I only worked there for a very short time, and
then you decided to have your own business.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, because I darn it was not gonna be open on the day after Christmas.
I like it.
Although what I found out is when you open your own business, I will probably be working on something related to my business the day after Thanksgiving. But the courts are closed, so I don't have to worry about that.
In the name of Wade.
Yes, exactly. And then in the end here, before we close, the other thing that we want to watch out for too is that there's the Friday after Thanksgiving is Black Friday, but the Monday is Cyber Monday.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
That's what it's called. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And $887 million on Cyber Monday. So almost, I bet you we'll probably get to about, these numbers are old, so I bet you that these numbers are from 1965, these numbers. So when people shopped on the internet.
On the intranet.
And Al Gore invented it, and then a bunch of people went on it, and there was $887 million in Cyber Monday. No, I think it's from last year, but I bet you they'll do $1 billion this year.
I shouldn't say I have no doubt, but I'm fairly confident that the Cyber Monday will eventually be more profitable for business than the walking in Black Friday. And if not, then there's going to be like competition between the two. I
like it.
I definitely think that, especially now when you have the internet in your own pocket. I mean, it was one thing to be able to buy anything online, and now it's just even greater, the rate at which you can communicate with a business, even greater.
Well, I've really enjoyed talking to you today, Peter. It was great to see you, and I just give a warning to everybody for Cyber Monday. Remember that your employers probably can monitor what you're doing, so be careful how much you're buying and who you're buying from. It's been so enjoyable to just sit and be on the radio with everybody today, and I really, really had a great time with it and seeing you today, Peter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.
You've been listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I am attorney Wade Skalsky, and you just experienced Wade Beyond the Courtroom.